Welcome to the Energy Hour. The Energy Hour is brought to you by Quality Home Improvement, Southern California's premier residential and commercial contractor, making homes and businesses energy efficient, one building at a time.
Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome to the Energy Hour. I am here. It's a privileged day for me. I'm hanging out with Denise and Mark Scholl.
Yep.
Mark is from the Money Minute.
Yep.
And Denise, as far as I'm concerned, is a financial wizard. She told me of some acronyms recently, and one of them was WTF. Was that what it was?
No.
R
That was
something.
yours.
Yeah, that's what I thought I said. But we are here today to talk about why you want to do things with these guys and to move stuff around, as far as I'm concerned, right?
Talking about moving money around, things that our business does, our company does, our team, our group. Every time we get a chance to get in here, it's an opportunity to let regular people know what can be done.
You know, it kind of reminds me of getting a tune-up. Am I right to say that?
Yep.
It's like a financial tune-up.
Absolutely.
You take your car
Pop
and
the
you get
hood,
an oil
pop the
change,
hood,
right?
Pop the hood.
So we're going to pop the hood, and Denise is amazing.
There you go.
By the time I'm done, I got a nice, ready-to-go car.
Can't even hear your exhaust.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's a really good analogy.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, because most people don't think about
Popping the hood.
looking back and reflecting on
Right?
everything.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
and it's something that needs to be done actually quite frequently.
So, okay. So,
Yeah.
I mean, what's a good thing to say? Like, you know, you have that medical checkup, the annual checkup.
Yeah, I was about to call you. I was going to jump in. It really is a financial checkup. Just like we do for our bodies, you want to do for your financial health, especially if you're with a family, especially if you have a family. There's no difference in getting your car tuned up. Things change constantly in the financial world. They're different from 2020, let's say, than they were, and Denise, you agree, 2010, 2005. We'll touch on the flagship illustrious IUL, and that didn't really exist 20 years ago on the shape it is.
Think about it, Mark, it's kind of like cell phones.
Interesting.
You know, if
yeah.
within a few years you are obsolete,
So-
and so are a lot of those policies. They're old policies
That seriously happens?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you don't do this checkup, as we're talking about, for example, if I had a flip phone today, I would be like on my way out.
Quite literally, you would not have all the bells and whistles
Gotcha.
that you could actually roll that into a newer policy
To
with
a new iPhone.
with all the bells and whistles.
Oh, I love it. Mm-hmm. Okay. So how often would you make this checkup, guys? I mean,
So
what do you recommend?
What we typically do, and especially with younger families, is when we wrap up business.
I mean,
So
what do you recommend?
What we typically do, and especially with younger families, is when we wrap up business with somebody, a household, we drop on our personal calendars. I can vouch for everybody in the office a year. And then at least we're touching base. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I mean, it's just nice to keep in touch with the clientele. I mean, either they're getting married, they're adding someone else to their family, and
Okay.
so
Tribe.
yeah,
Tribe.
or they're having
Like
children,
it. Okay.
or maybe someone is fallen ill. And so now there's other needs that need to be adjusted in their will or trust or.
I have, in fact, it popped up yesterday on my illustrious calendar. I have a family, a client that lives in Riverside, not far from us here.
Sure.
At the beautiful QHI studios in Upland, California.
Lord.
So husband, wife,
Yep.
and 2 daughters. And while we're going through setting them up, she is a month away from what turned out to be daughter number 3.
Oh, no kidding.
So a little technical information for you. What we did for them, they had 0 coverage. They had 0 savings plan. They just had 0 young American family, very common. So I schooled them on, in this case, the IUL, which we've discussed, and we may break off into that again. So we got them set up. Now here's what was interesting: the provider I put them with gave me a shout back and said, She's about to pop in 4 to 5 weeks, so she doesn't get LTC.
You're kidding.
She doesn't get LTC. And now, insurance companies are a business.
Right.
They don't know what they're dealing with until a little girl, little boy pops out and what have you. So I can respect it. But here's what was cool about it. They're dealing with until a little girl, little boy pops out and what have you. So I can respect it. But here's what was cool about the provider.
Wow.
One of our big partners. Do I drop names? Do I drop Trans? Or
Absolutely.
Don't? Yeah, so Trans.
We work with some of the biggest and best
Yeah.
companies. Never be afraid.
But
to
what they
mention
literally told me on the phone, they said, Mark, don't let the young family panic. This is kind of traditional business, but here's what you're going to do. When that little boy or girl is 6 months old, 9 months old, we just circle back, assuming it's all good, and then we go ahead and we just add it on, and it's all good. So
Just like that.
just like that. So that was very gracious of them. But their year anniversary popped up on my calendar actually yesterday, and I seen on social media their little one is walking now. Their third girl.
Nice.
Now the guy is a very close friend of mine, and he's a man's man. He's like Popeye. He's spinach. He's ripped. So that's a good current live example of what we do regarding popping the hood.
So
and what
she
have
can't get ITC.
LTC.
LTC. ITC is federal tax credit
Yeah,
for me.
see,
Jeez
you're running a
Louise.
business. We can
Yeah,
tell.
right? So LTC, so long-term care.
Correct.
What would be the reason for that?
Again, there's a little one about to pop out, and you don't know what. And I'm almost verbatim explaining.
Anomaly?
You don't know what could happen.
Gotcha.
When it's baby time,
Gotcha.
and
Anything's possible.
anything's possible. So insurance companies, by and large, I would think anybody that's in the gambling business, in spirit of making this fun,
Sure.
the greatest gamble bet in the world is that all three of us in this room, in this studio, we're gonna die. That's a fact.
Yep.
Yep. So what what
Okay.
you're the one going behind the
Physically.
barn.
Physically, we'll die. Maybe.
The cornfield? Yeah.
Yeah,
gotcha.
you're going out behind the
I
barn
know.
or the cornfield and all that. That's a bet we're all going to win or lose depending upon what mood you're in.
Sure.
Right? So what you want to do is place a bet with one of our providers that I'm going to get hit by a bus, and then you're going to have to pay out and create a legacy for me and or whatever.
Hey, is that why Brett and Sean want to get a policy on me?
Yes.
They can get as long as I approve, huh?
You just got to sign off
Isn't
on it.
that something?
They'll be the owner.
Wow, of my life.
If you sign off.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, can I get a policy on myself and they have a policy on me? Or no?
You just
can't
have to
double up?
you just Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
If
yeah.
they pay for
If
it.
they pay
It's
for
like-
it.
If they're paying for it,
It's like
Yeah.
going to Vegas.
What do you think some of these companies are that are offering to buy back these policies to these people?
Oh.
They eventually die, and they
cash in.
They cash in on the beneficiary because they change it over.
That's another layer I never thought about.
So let's get creepy.
Oh
To
my
Denise's
God.
point, Aunt Mary is 78 years old.
No.
And so somebody will come in and offer to buy that from Robin
Yeah.
and pay a reasonable sum. For argument's sake, it's $1 million policy. So they'll pay the two
Nice.
boys $250, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that's exciting to them because that's now. And the we'll call them Reaper Incorporated.
Oh.
Because that's now. And the we'll call them Reaper Incorporated.
Oh no.
Is now
Oh my God.
is now investing. They've got the time, they've got the dime, and they're going to win. So anyway,
That's
Talk
that's
about the ultimate
interesting.
gamble right there.
Yes.
Isn't it crazy?
It's not red or black. It's how long do you want to live, right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
so in spirit of
Okay.
being humorous,
Yeah,
we're fortunate enough to come in here and talk about what we do, and you always provide such a great forum. Not only because we're good friends, but you're a hell of a proponent for what it is we
Oh
do.
boy, it's electronics.
Yeah.
It's the internet. It's the thing to do, right? But I love what you guys do because you guys are the mechanics, if you will, in the car business, and you like to tune up cars. And I dig that, man.
Yeah.
That's just too cool, right?
And here's the rarity.
Yeah.
We're actually really. And here's the rarity.
Yeah.
We're actually really, really good at it. We actually care, and
Yeah.
we actually focus on the client,
I
not
love
ourselves.
that. I mean, what other business can you say that to?
Yeah.
There's a lot of them out there that pretend.
Yeah.
I was with a pretend company at one point, and they pretended so much that my money ran out. It's just like,
Is this
poof.
the 10K conversation?
This is the $10,000 conversation.
So this will
that I
ease
had.
in this, and I'll turn Denise loose on the.
Fees.
She's wildly passionate. So
Yeah.
so Denise, Chris, back in corporate America days,
Oh boy.
Had 10K in the job corporate 401k world.
Yep.
And he'd get a quarterly statement, and the ink kept getting redder and redder.
I didn't even notice it.
Yeah.
A lot of times people don't even open those letters. They just,
Yeah.
because they're afraid to.
Yeah.
And they just throw them in a drawer.
I would take it right to the shredder,
Yeah.
thinking that, hey,
They're afraid to.
Yeah.
And they just throw them in a drawer.
I would take it right to the shredder,
Yeah.
thinking that, hey, I got 10,000 and I already know because he said so
Yes.
that I'm going to keep making money.
So,
Right?
so Denise will turn you loose here.
Okay.
So Chris in corporate America, most people get called into that meeting with the attractive lady in the pantsuit or the wonderful gentleman in the pinstripe suit, and they explain to you they're picking up on the fact that the Mark's 8 out of 10 rule
Yep.
are pre-programmed as to what you should be doing with your money because your dad told you about it and your grandfather told you about it. And you're in that meeting and they're talking about 401k. And the biggest thing you've got to decide is, are you going aggressive? Are you going moderate? You're going conservative. Those are your, and you got to make that choice now.
Yeah,
Now.
exactly.
And it's just hilarious because I was there a couple times and I look back, I had no idea what I was doing. And then you'd be in history class and you would be
Seriously?
So there's a remedy
Sure.
to that. There's a remedy to that. And Denise, please help the audience that's listening understand a 401k versus what can be done. Go.
Okay, well, there's several different other options you can use. So 401k, let me just kind of back up a minute. I mean, it's really kind of an old, out-of-date vehicle. When they first started the 401ks, I think it was back in the 80s, somewhere around that. And whoever was president had basically said, once you reach retirement age, you will be in a different tax bracket because of retirement age. So everyone just assumed because it was a tax-deferred type of product that's okay because my taxes are going to be so much lower
This year.
Right.
that was back when it first started. Now once the years roll past, the new presidents and all the new legislation happens, that is no longer the case. So choose who they want to go with and have their employees participate. So you really have no option. You just choose aggressive, mild, or very, very safe with very little return.
The amount of your contribution, right?
So, I mean, if the company is offering to match something, that's free money, take it. But if they are, if you're putting in more than the match, that's absolutely throwing your money away.
Seriously. Wow.
Absolutely. Because what you're doing is you're feeding it. It's growing or not growing. You could be losing it too.
Sure.
But ultimately, when you go to take that out, maybe 10 years down the road, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm under the impression that taxes are going to be higher down the road than lower. And I would prefer to pay my taxes on what I make now than pay taxes 20 years from now down the road than lower. And I would prefer to pay my taxes on what I make now than pay taxes 20 years from now when they're probably about 80%.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. So what happened was I didn't even have a choice. It was like, hey, here's the packet. They handed them all out. These are your representatives. And we got a 401k. It's like, hey, everybody's, clapping and stuff like that. And you'll get a quarterly statement. But I saw I actually put $10,000 of my own money
Straight
up in there. And I says, let's seed this thing. Let's do it right.
Let the horse run.
No.
I said, let's just go, right? Don't worry. And then whatever else you contribute, we'll match it, which was cool. So I was ahead of everybody else. I'm like, I'm going to get to that finish line quicker.
Big fat 10K seed money.
Yeah, I
man.
understand where your mind was at.
It's like, let's go.
I could see where your thought process was with that, but
I was-
knowing what you know now,
Yeah, it's depressing. I was running through a field of daisies and I felt great.
Oh, man.
So let's talk about
Right into a block wall.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Wile E. Coyote with his 10K.
Exactly.
So let's talk about some options. And again, I love turning Denise loose. So I'm gonna softball her here.
I mean, she just tells it
So-
how it is, man.
Well,
It's
we're gonna
just-
talk. Let's talk a little bit about the business.
Okay.
All
right.
and then I'll turn Denise loose.
Yeah.
more than once. So, in this business, one of the really cool parts is if you get passionate about what it is we do and understand that most folks could use a hand regarding information and education.
Sure.
This business is, this company specifically, is famous for taking in spirit of being humorous, empty skulls. Denise is an empty skull. I'm famous for taking in spirit of being humorous, empty skulls. Denise is an empty skull. I'm an empty skull. We just have a passion for popping the hood and getting the tune-up correct and helping people out. So it's awesome. You walk through the door. You do not need any. It's best not to have any real education on say, financial services. Denise and I guarantee we came in neutral, and you not get assigned, but you get assigned particular mentors, folks that have been in the business for a while, and yes, they have a vested interest in you being successful. We'll get into that another day.
Sure.
But they'll pave the way for you, so you're not scraping your knees and elbows as much as if you were a rudderless ship. So Denise works out of our. You're in a couple offices, but would we call it Canyon Lake predominantly now?
Yes, we opened a satellite office in Canyon Lake, but I'm still out of the Corona office.
The product that would go up against that 401k, you're pretty well versed in it, and talk about who taught you that. Talk about her.
Okay, well,
All right,
Starts with a J.
I'm all ears.
so I mean, are you talking about the not your favorite product?
Yeah, mine already blew up.
So you're talking about the famous indexed annuity?
Yeah, let's talk about that. And this, while you're schooling the audience on it, explain how you learned that and who taught it to you.
Well, I was presented with this company after I was a client.
Yep.
And so I was like, oh, no way. I do not do numbers, and that's just not in my wheelhouse. But she became a big part of my family. She was there when my dad got sick. But
Oh, okay.
when my mom had to get her taxes done, they found out that she was going to run out of money with probably about 8 months at her
Really?
whole
8
retirement.
months? That's crazy.
Months at her
Really?
whole
8
retirement.
months? That's crazy. Hello?
Yeah. So we brought Jane in. She
Jane
was
who?
Jane Stanion.
Boom.
Yeah, okay.
She is amazing woman who is basically goes out of her way.
She's a tiny British badass.
I love her already.
She's a
yeah.
bulldog.
nice.
amazing.
Go get him.
Yeah, she comes across nice and sweet, but boy,
Oh, yeah.
she knows her stuff very good. So she was able to become my mother's advocate. She didn't charge her for her time.
I'm sorry, say that again?
She did not charge her to do any of this.
Are you kidding me?
She spent countless hours.
Wow.
we're still counting.
OMG.
Yeah.
Your mom's a pain in the ass. We've all agreed? Good.
Yeah.
Tell her I said that.
Yeah. So what's really bad is
Denise's
that
mom's awesome.
oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
She
I
likes
feel
me more than
sorry for
Denise.
her.
Love it.
Yes or no?
Not anymore
Uh-oh.
because you haven't called in a while. So
Uh-oh.
she was going to run out of her money.
That's
My
insane.
mom was literally in tears every night when I would come back to the house, and it broke my heart, and I felt helpless.
How old was your mom when she found out she was going to lose all this money in 8 months?
She was about 70.
Oh, perfect. You know, at 71, you'll be broke, and thanks for contributing. That's not cool.
What do you, Chris, you always say thanks for playing.
Yeah, thanks for playing. That's just
The
so
game of
wrong.
life.
But she actually took the initiative and fixed her up.
So what we found out was, okay, so Jane took the initiative, and so any normal person would normally say, okay, where this person had put your money, you can't touch it for 7 years. And they probably would have walked away. Sorry, can't help you. But Jane kind of reverse engineered, going, well, wait a minute, how much do you need to have in liquid assets? Engineered that whole scenario, found out that my mom had nowhere near the amount of money that legally you should have for your investors to be able to be in those products. So she reverse engineered
Found a
everything.
loophole.
So hang on
She
a second.
found a
there.
loophole.
So the individual that was helping your mom up originally,
A relative,
so they misguided her,
to say the least.
to say the least. We'll keep it nice. I would have probably said stepped on, crushed, but that's
believe
not
me,
cool.
I was in a whole another place when this was happening. I probably.
You probably would have grabbed an axe and chased somebody down the hallway.
I'm glad you said it, not me.
Okay.
But yeah,
Very cool.
I was.
This is
very
Mom.
upset.
Hello.
I'm very upset.
Right? Oh my goodness. And she had no clue until your dad passed. Is this what it was?
Yeah, my dad passes, and so she goes to a new accountant who I'm very upset.
Right? Oh my goodness. And she had no clue until your dad passed. Is this what it was?
Yeah, my dad passes, and so she goes to a new accountant who see, she'd been going to this other guy with my dad
Forever, yeah.
Never brought this up.
Pre-programmed.
Oh boy, really?
Never. He was a talker. They would be there forever, but never brought any of this stuff up. So we went to a new one that was closer to the house, and he brought it up. He saw it right away.
So he showed you the roadblocks that were about to come.
He just said, he just said, she's being charged as if she was a millionaire or had over $1 million.
Are you kidding me?
Talking fees?
Oh my goodness.
Just in the fees that my mom was paying. Just in the fees. That's what brought the red flags up.
So it drained her boat, if you will, like it did mine.
Yes.
And it would have drained her boat in 8 months.
Within 8 months, from the money that she was taking out to live on, and yes,
setting up his finances with everybody that was under his belt as clients.
because he had her trust.
Oh, how many other people did this guy train?
Exactly.
That's just messed up. Is he still doing this?
I do not know.
I hope not.
We almost went down that road, but I think my mom had gone through so much.
Yeah, you want to just leave it alone.
Yes.
So let's
Fix
turn
mom
this back.
and move on, right?
Let's turn this back a positive.
Oh, yes,
what did
of
Jane
course.
do for mom?
Okay, Jane was able to get them to liquidate all these accounts that they said it couldn't be done. Eventually, she convinced them
Oh, nice.
with a lot of evidence.
Yeah, the guy lied. That's what happened.
Yeah, but there was a lot that went into it, a lot of work. But anyway, they got that back, and she got all her fees back.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, all the
OMG.
fees.
Good.
All the fees. So she was able to put her in what we call an indexed annuity.
Yeah.
And
What is
Good.
all the fees. So she was able to put her in what we call an indexed annuity.
Yeah.
And
What does indexed mean, just for the for the fans?
So indexed is basically, it's kind of a fixed, but it goes up with the S&P, the market, to a certain degree, and it locks in at the high. So that it'll lock in at the high, and then if the market drops, maybe you don't make anything that month or that quarter, but you don't lose anything.
Always
so
black
it's
ink.
not moving as the market moves.
No.
Always
Nice.
black ink.
Black ink. I
So
like
you
that.
will never, ever have a penny less than what you started.
I love that.
Plus, she's guaranteed that she'll never outlive her money.
What?
Yes.
Oh, that is fantastic, man.
So Jane created
Good for her.
a pension,
Thank you,
if you
Jane.
will.
Yes.
You know.
Jane created a pension for her, and other than the usual aches and pain that mom has, I'm sure she sleeps every night.
She sleeps every night. And
Jane deserves a big hug, right?
well, that's when I was like, I felt hopeless. I'm like, wow, I need to learn this for myself. And now, there you go.
Here you are.
Yes, here I am.
So in spirit of being humorous, Denise showed up with an empty skull.
Empty skull.
Had a passion for what just happened in her household.
Major passion.
Yeah.
I saw
Oh
it.
my God.
and was blessed with this tremendous leader, which we have many on my side of the fence.
Yeah.
Laura Farrow.
Oh yeah.
So these two are equals.
Okay.
I'm not sure Jane wears a red cape. Maybe she does. I don't know.
Some of these women are super women. these
man.
The
days,
company's predominantly women, quite
Right?
frankly.
We are the number one top broker dealer. That's women.
Jeez.
That, mostly
Smart.
women.
Yeah. Go girl power, right? Woo woo.
Girl power, yeah. Yeah.
You can run my life. Here's the money.
So, we talk about our company, the business,
Yeah,
our group, and what
yeah.
have you, and our individual little teams, we like to call it. These are the things that we're capable of doing. And Denise's story is such an example of going the extra mile. Not only did somebody with the vision and knowledge that Jane has, she saw it right away and chose to unravel the mess of electrical wire.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
And then got things
Yeah, that's
squared
great,
away. And I love saying this because clients ask me this all the time. And she did it at no charge. Mom didn't cut Jane a check, did she?
No, and it did none of the money.
Will most of these guys ask for money otherwise?
Well, most financial people they take a percentage of
whatever they
the
do.
amount you're investing.
Really?
So what happens with us is that we don't touch any of our clients' money. That all goes into the investment, goes
Sure.
towards the growth of their money.
Yes.
And the company we work with pays our brokers.
Isn't that a beautiful thing?
You and I, when we get together,
Yeah.
there's a little overlap here. Yeah, I joke because when I talk to a client, how much of this are you getting? And come on, tell me really what's going. Provider takes care of us for matching them up, and
Without pulling any money out of their account.
No, if they're going to contribute, for argument's sake, $240 a month to whatever that they want to, that none of that comes to us. The provider is gracious enough to compensate us for bringing them a client.
True.
That's magic.
Plus, there's a bonus there too. A lot of
Them a client.
True.
That's magic.
Plus, there's a bonus there too. A lot of these companies, and it changes usually monthly or quarterly, but a lot of these companies, for putting them into these annuities, will give you a bonus on the money you put in. So I helped a lady who just had her whole retirement sitting in their bank account, earning nothing.
Earning point nothing.
Point nothing. So technically, she's paying taxes on the money sitting there.
And they're borrowing that money
and they're borrowing
loaning it out
Right.
for 10, 20%.
Right.
Oh,
So we
boy.
took it, and at the product that we put her in at the time gave a 20% bonus for her moving it over. So
Stop it.
Yes.
Just for moving it.
Just for moving it.
So if you were a hitter and had $100K to play with, or
Yep.
in your portfolio, you move that money with the
Nothing or 120K. I think you made that clear, Mark.
so all this
Denise,
all
yeah.
this
Yeah.
circling back.
Point nothing. Oof.
I know.
We could do a 10-hour podcast.
I mean, just banks alone. That's how they make their money. You know,
Yeah.
I was reading something recently in this.
We did a video on that.
Seriously?
Yeah, we did the video on that.
I like reading different periodicals that come out, Business Week and stuff like that. And I was reading this one, not that Business Week reported this, but I'm sure they might have. I was reading that Wells Fargo, and I'll say this with pride because these guys are out there beating the feet, right? They make most of their money on defaults, and they want you to, that $1.99 Del Taco, you have 58 cents in your account, and you order a $1.99 Del Taco, right? And they want to charge you $35 in your account, and you order a $1.99 Del Taco, right? And they want to charge you $35
for crossing the line.
for crossing the line. When we were kids, the check would bounce.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Or you couldn't fund it. It would say, "Sorry, Bob, you can't do that." Now they let you. Did you also know at any one of these banks, specifically Wells Fargo, and I can speak from it. My account will probably be shredded by the time I get out. But here's what happens. You can have a negative balance in a Wells Fargo account, put your card in there, and say you want to withdraw $300. They'll say, sure, but it's going to be another $35 on top of that.
Just to
Press OK to continue. Did you
They're
know that?
soliciting that business.
They can't get enough. They are beating people over the head with a baseball bat. And I tried it, and at one time I made my account negative. I transferred all my money over there, then did something stupid. Sure enough, that $35 was there. When you call up and they kind of say, Okay, you haven't done a lot of these, so we'll let the first one slide.
Like they're doing you a favor.
Like they're doing you a favor. We'll let the first one slide.
Like they're doing you a favor.
Like they're doing you a favor, exactly. And one time I remember that, and I told this to my friend, I says, he's never going to do it, and he did it. He actually had to spend an additional $35, but he got his $300.
So he got a small Guido loan.
A Guido.
He got a Guido loan. That's what he got.
What is that? 10? It's like 15%, isn't it?
Yeah, he got a
it's
Guido
like
loan.
insane.
It adds up, doesn't it?
So and this thing, it said they hope for the deficiencies in their accounts. So remember, $35 per transaction.
Yeah.
So if you have PayPal, Del Taco, or somebody else show up, boom, 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 times 35, you can lose $100 in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Good times.
Right?
Good times.
Jeez.
So I love talking about the business.
Point nothing again. That was point
Crazy.
nothing.
So
Yeah.
us on this side,
Yeah.
on this side, myself and Denise and all the troops we run with, we're real passionate and advocates against that sort of money manipulation.
It's not even manipulation. It's like cutting your arm off in public.
So we help people
Jesus.
understand how to avoid that, what they can do, the
I love it.
possibilities.
Man,
Well,
that's
we
great.
help people get their head out of the sand because that's just it. Most people don't really understand how all of it works.
Well, the sad part about it is when you get to be in your twilight age, who's thinking about that?
Everybody.
Well, I don't even think about that stuff.
Are you near your twilight age?
No, I
Well,
feel
there you
30.
go.
But anyways, but what I'm saying is, and when people get older and they just really have their money in these point nothing accounts, I mean CDs. I mean, what are they paying these days? It's
gosh.
like
I
it's like
sometimes
nothing.
I think CDs are 1 or 2%. I even saw one that had a negative.
What?
Yeah,
Bob, put your money over here and
Actually,
you'll get
yeah.
negative 2% back.
it was a negative. It was
That's
somebody
terrible.
somebody that had retired from Boeing.
And they probably charge them a sign-up fee to do it.
Betcha.
The fun part that
Oh, wow.
the dark lord that's sitting in the corner in this conversation the two of you guys are having regarding less than 1% on your money and let's say a checking account is the inflation or cost of living. So
Which is at 7%.
it's 3.5.
Are you sure?
So your
They tell us it's at 3.5.
Thank
Touche.
you.
But
Yay.
it's I believe it to be more like 7 to 9%.
So your boat, you talk about
Exactly.
a boat, Chris.
Thank you.
Your boat, you've got $100 in the bank, and you're getting paid less than 1%. So, you're picking up a penny every day, yet it's costing you
$100.
It's costing you, another 3.5 pennies just to have your money.
$100.
It's costing you, another 3.5 pennies just to have your money there. So your boat is running in red ink, ever so slowly. There's like a crack in the, in
the hull.
Just a fine one. So people don't see that. And I'm going to tag you again on this. So put your
Nice.
helmet on.
All right.
Chris, I know people with $40K in their checking account. Some people I'm looking at know people with $1.3 million in their checking account.
Literally. I'm not kidding you.
Get on the phone. I thought that guy was your customer.
His name is Jerry. I'm going to give you Jerry's number before you leave.
Okay,
Please.
That's
And
fine.
And I'll text him you're calling.
Well, if you really like him, if you don't like him,
No, Jerry's
then
a cool dude.
He can leave his money there. But if
Yeah.
you really like him,
he has all of that in Bank of America.
And in spirit of being humorous yet experience.
Point nothing, Bill.
Tell me, Denise, that's clearly the only place he has that going on.
think about or worry about. They know they probably should, but it's uncovering a lot of things they don't want to have to really deal with, to be honest. And so, if we can make it less painful and easy, and and it doesn't have to be this.
As a business owner, what I like to do is I like to see how much of the stuff I can put on the top. It's a game with me.
Yep.
And I say to myself, 100,000. Let's go. And I set my goals, and then I reach my goals, right? And I'm like, yes, I did it. But then it just sits there at point nothingville.
Yep.
And that's when you're supposed to do something with it.
Yeah.
You can't, and if you keep it there, if you're an S corporation, at the end of the year, and I've learned this, It cost me over $40,000.
I was
'Cause
on
when
the
they
other
did
one.
my
I was
taxes-
on the other to that
I
phone.
was like, no! I had over $64,000. I put all these checks in at the end of the year. Over $64,000. I put all these checks in at the end of the year that was going towards vendors, going towards paying bills and stuff. And my tax guy looks at me and goes, oh, well. I said, how come nobody told me about this?
Oh, well.
I
Wow.
saw something from the feds. It was $38,000, and the rest went to state.
Ouch.
I almost wanted to chew my fingers off.
Oh, no.
I was so.
We were on the phone. I remember the call.
So
Fuck.
is your tax guy still in your life?
You know, he's a good guy, and it really, to be honest with you, it wasn't his responsibility to tell me anything because
Right.
I should have known it already. But I think that any guy that does your taxes, any guy that does your books should say, it's coming to the end of the year, Bob. So that $25,000, why don't you stick it in an annuity so you can write that off and you don't even count.
But see, that's
Right?
the thing is that a lot of those tax guys, they don't have the same kind of education and knowledge, which they should, because those two businesses go hand in hand. I mean, it is
Financial
crazy.
services, hello.
So with
Recommendations,
tax,
hello.
exactly, with tax people, they want to save you on taxes now,
Yes.
right? They don't
Right.
think about your
The
long-term
future?
investments. They're just thinking, how can I cut and give him the best return I can get him right
Today.
now, today.
Oh, geez,
And
yeah.
so that's why sometimes these people like their 401ks, is because in a way it's a tax write-off.
You don't got to worry about them.
So, it's the lesser of two evils, and you got to decide what you
So
want to do there.
my boat, Mark, when you're talking about having a hole in the bottom of your hole,
Yep.
when I went over that rock, it was like getting
A gash.
it was a gash, and this came in, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, he had a lot of money in that bank, and it was like getting
a gash.
it was a gash, and this came in, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, he had a lot of money in that bank, and anybody that has over 25 grand should be sticking that money in a safer place.
Yeah.
You want a portion of it, and here goes our expertise from a couple previous empty skulls.
Yeah. Okay.
You want to have X amount liquid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For argument's sake, half, and the other half you want to put into an intelligent vehicle, and that's predicated on what you're trying to accomplish. Around the office, we have a really, really fun story, and I'll bow down to the great Steve Haig. The
All right.
story he uses is the puzzle box, and when we get introduced to a new client, I use it all the time. I tell the story. Look, when you're a kid, we all know puzzles, right? The 500
I
piece
love 'em.
puzzle, the freaking 1,000 piece puzzle.
Yeah.
You empty the box, and then 500 pieces come out, and you go, holy shit. And then you slowly peck away at it, and then you walk away for 3 days, maybe a week, and then you come back and peck away at it. Some people do the puzzle. I remember when I was a kid, they would do it with cardboard side up, because it was easier for them to see the shapes.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so
Oh.
they're trying to skin a cat another different way.
Cheers.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
I would have
I-
tried that if I
yeah.
would have thought of it.
Focus
Right.
team. So what we tell clients, here's why we're here in front of you.
Yep.
You have the puzzle box. You bought that picture because that's what you want. We help engineer, empower you to put the pieces in order together to achieve that puzzle that you want. That is what we do in a nutshell, in its utmost simplicity.
I love it.
We help
You're
build
master puzzle builders.
the puzzle that you want. We help you put it together to where it makes sense.
It's kind of neat to know a bunch of people that have this financial.
Spirit of being humorous, maybe not. Now,
No kidding.
Maybe not, and here's why. Because a lot of people don't know. There's a big difference between, say, like a CPA or a financial planner versus our side of the fence, which is financial services and insurances. And Denise alluded to it. Not only she caught herself, but the CPAs of the world, they don't have the licenses that we have. First of all, they're not allowed to speak the language, but they most likely don't know it.
Gotcha.
And so most of middle America is pre-programmed by their dad, their mom, and the grandparents to go to it. Joe Smith, he's 86 years old, just knocked the dust off of him, but he He's our CPA.
Nice.
And as opposed to, watch this.
Oh my God.
As opposed to meeting a
Joe.
Tasmanian devil like Jane,
Yeah.
who on our side of the fence, as opposed to meeting a
Joe.
Tasmanian devil like Jane,
Yeah.
who on our side of the fence. That's the big difference. So when we get a chance to take up your time and studio space
Yeah.
and do podcasts, and we're advocates for this business, and we were two regular people,
Yeah.
and we've got 200 of us from all walks of life. We're so passionate about getting people to understand what can be done.
You know, I just lost a friend 2 weeks ago, a neighbor across the street, and we're kind of putting windows in her house. She's kind of, she's actually doing a lot of home improvements right now. But I know there's got to be some residual money laying around in maybe a 201k or a 101k.
He got that from me.
Right? I mean, that was so good. I
Well,
use it
how
all
did
the
he know
time.
the language?
Right?
We hang out.
I
Right?
get it.
So I need to get you her number too, just to do an F&A.
Yeah.
Not a WTF, but an F&A.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
not a WTF, but an F&A.
Yeah.
So you can actually see the vehicle that she's in, and maybe this might be something that can help her out additionally. So she mentioned something about Social Security. I guess when he croaked, she got half or something like that, or whatever. How that works.
There's options. I'll just, without getting into it, there's options
Okay.
regarding Social Security. And when two older people that are drawing Social Security, if one happens to pass, the other one that is still living gets a choice, and by default they take the higher one, the higher draw, if you will.
Sure.
So he's getting $300 a month, and she's getting $250, and he passes. She graduates to the higher number, but she loses hers. She doesn't double up.
Oh, you're kidding me. She loses hers?
Yeah, you don't get to
Oh,
collect.
so it's the highest one.
out of the duo. Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Mark.
Wow.
I
Oh,
Black.
so it's the highest one.
Out of the duo. Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Mark.
Wow.
I believe is it the Social Security and the pensions that work the same way. If it's only goes to a spouse. If the other spouse passes away and there's
Okay,
still money in there,
Okay, so here we go.
it goes back to the government.
So let me do this.
Cyberspace?
Now let me do this. Here's what happens.
Uncle Sam.
Oh,
Well, close. Not
OMG.
Okay.
necessarily, but close. So what Denise is talking about in pensions, and I've been through it. I have a lot of blue collar friends that have done real well.
So the retired firemen, the retired...
They're
whoever.
elevator repair guys,
Yeah,
and
okay.
they've got 401ks and pensions and
Okay.
old school things still going on. These guys do really, really well.
Sure.
I sat down with a client a year and a half ago, and time flies, hell, maybe 2 years ago, and he discovered a couple things, or I helped him discover a couple things. One was the 401k conversation. I schooled him on how he's going to get taxed twice on retirement day. He's going to get taxed on Friday night's checks that the $100 went a different
Disgusting.
direction. And then he's going to get taxed on the growth. And Denise alluded to it earlier. Hey, I want to pay on the little amount at the beginning of the game.
Yes.
And what I liken it to, you start putting money away on January 1st, year 2000, and you're going to retire year 2030. So you're going to get hit on that $100 you put away every Friday night in 2030. Uncle Sam's going to circle back and say, now remember, that was deferred. And so they're going to come and collect, and I'm going to be nice, 10%. And then they're going to go, you did a really, really good job for this 30 years of growth. Just picture trees for argument's sake.
Sure.
And so you turn that $100 every Friday, you turn it into $1 million. I'm going to need, like Denise said, we don't know what the taxable rate's going to be, but I'm going to be gracious and say it's just twice. So that's one. Now to Denise's point, these guys, they have their God, I just blanked. Their
Social Security pensions.
the pension. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I kept wanting to
The
spit out
P
annuity.
word, right.
Yeah.
The P word. And so what happens with the pension when you retire from the blue collar gig? At least these guys specifically, the pension the pension money people, they come to you and they go, hey Chris, you're married, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And you have $500,000 here. Today you get to make a choice. Here's the choice. You can take the whole $500,000 and start drawing down. terrific for you and your lovely bride. Off into the sunset you go. But if you choose to take it all, and I understand it's your money and you've earned it, but here's the rule: rub with the lemon juice, upside down, earned it. But here's the rule: rub with the lemon juice, upside down, fine print. Here's the rule: if you agree to take the $500, you get hit by a bus, Mr. Jones, the pension stops and goes back to the house.
Wait a second.
Now, hold on, let me finish. But behind door number 2, I'm going to date myself, the best Monty Hall, here I go. Behind door number 2, if you agree today on your retirement to just take $250, and you do get hit by a bus, your beautiful wife, Mrs. Jones, gets to continue. What would you like to do?
Oh, boy.
Isn't that total BS?
So you're like giving 50% of your opportunity
now you're placing
away.
another bet.
Oh,
so
wow.
here, now watch
Seriously?
watch the brilliance of me
Not
and
cool.
my company.
Not cool.
So here's what we did.
Yeah.
So we stood back and looked at all the money he was contributing. He was contributing strong. We're talking over a K plus. All the money he was contributing. He was contributing strong. We're talking over a K plus a month for
Wow.
years.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
For years.
So he was building that foundation.
Yeah.
Because he got hyped up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's what I did. I said, okay, and his lovely bride is a stay-at-home from day one, virtually day one, and he's got 2 college daughters, and he did everything right.
Life's good.
Life's good. He did everything right, and the government loves him for that. Did you hear the sarcasm?
Yeah.
Okay, so
They
he
do
did
love him
everything
for
right.
that.
So here we were able to dissect what he's got going. So I said, look, Mr. Jones, you're contributing $1,000 to your retirement. Here's what we're going to do. Because to Denise's point, he was getting a 6% match. It's healthy.
Ooh.
So you want to do that.
Yeah.
It's free money.
You want to match to what they're matching. Don't
Sure.
overfund it.
Right.
So what I did, I said, let's peel back and let's cut that in half. Now here's say, F you, Mr. Pension, I'm taking my $500. And I don't care if I die. Because here's what I'm doing with Mark's help, and we haven't mentioned it, World Financial's help. I put together just a real simple $1 million term policy. And now he's 50-something, so it wasn't the cheapest in the world, but we peeled $500 away, put a couple bills towards this, got him the 30 years. So when he retires, he's drawing his $500
Still.
and if he does get hit by a bus, Mrs. Jones collects on the my $5 that I assigned to them.
Are you kidding
Or
me?
$1 million, sorry.
$1 million?
Yeah.
What the flip, man?
Yeah. So I was able to
Oh,
see what was going
Jesus.
on. Per Denise's point, I had him redirect part of it. And we built him a simple term because of his age. He didn't need it for the kids. Didn't need the investment. He invested his ass off.
Mm-hmm.
So we
he
peeled.
had an additional rider on that. Am I right to say?
Well, I basically.
Life insurance, maybe?
Well, there's life with that. That's
Okay.
another conversation.
Okay.
When he leaves that corporate blue collar gig, he actually has no coverage.
Oh,
Because he's
boy.
been covered by the job forever.
Forever.
He wasn't wise enough to
Yeah.
pick it up when he was 25 or 30.
Sure.
So, again, he did everything right. But we now have $1 million on him. And
So if he goes, she's fine with that, and so is he.
yeah, in fact, she looked right at me and said, "Man, I'm fine with that."
Yeah.
So
she
these
probably gave Mark a big hug afterwards.
so
Oh,
these are the
wow.
things. That's my mini version of Jane.
But he took his 500 away from
Well, he's going to.
the P guys, his P guy, right? and then if he would have made that other choice,
His P
he
guy.
could only take half of what was already his.
Yeah, on re-
And if he croaked, she would get the other half, and they would just suck the other one away.
On retirement
That's just
day,
wrong, man.
on retirement day, you get the gold watch, probably a small cake, and this wicked choice:
Yeah,
take your $500,000 that you've earned
yeah.
and go off into the sunset. But if you get run over by a horse while you're trotting off into the sunset, you're Mrs.
house
Jones.
wins.
Yeah, it all goes back to the house.
And she's broke.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Door number 2.
Whatever happened to the him and hers and hers and his? And isn't that how it's supposed to work in California law?
Another podcast.
Okay.
So he now is dialed in. It's what we do.
He's happy.
It's a blast. It's an absolute blast.
She's blessed.
Yeah.
She can sleep good at night.
Yeah.
Are
She's
you kidding
blessed
me?
to know me.
Yeah.
Yeah. She should be writing
are
you
you-
a Christmas card
Are
every
you like
year.
their second son now?
We grew up together, so
Oh,
we're
how
really,
nice.
really tight.
Oh,
We're
very
really,
cool.
really tight.
But you took him out of a train wreck.
They had no idea the train was coming.
Oh my! And how many other people do you experience that when you talk to
This
them
is why we're
and
here.
do your F and N?
Yeah, F&A.
F and A. See,
Acronyms all over the
Oh,
place today.
Yes. It's a financial needs analysis, and we do it for free.
that's the key right
Yeah.
there.
We do. It's what's kind of like your financial roadmap, like the puzzle that Mark was talking about.
Checking
tell
the
us-
oil, looking
You
at
tell
the,
us your
uh,
picture. Where do you want to be in 5 years? And
yeah,
when we
yeah.
try to get you to those short-term
Sure.
goals and long-term goals, and along
Sure.
the way we make course corrections.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. We've got a lot of people that are changing jobs or left a job and they've left a 401k.
Not paying attention.
Here's a big word we want to jump on. And Denise is real good at it. She brought it up pre-podcast. I'm going to throw one word out there and then turn you two loose because of what's going on in the time in 2020 today.
Sure.
The word furlough.
Furlough's a disgusting word.
Now I'm going to lean back and let you two go.
Why don't they just be honest and talk about, hey, we're going to fire you because, I mean, in California, you got the California law, right? You don't have to give them a reason, no rhyme. It's in and it's out. You're in or you're out, right? Furlough was a lame excuse.
You know, I don't even know if I really understand what it really means. I mean, I've heard people say they're furloughed, meaning that they only work 4 days a week instead of 5 days a week.
That's not a
I mean-
furlough.
That's not
yeah.
a furlough.
What?
They got
That's
their hours cut.
part-time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
that's
right.
that's like saying, okay, Denise, hold your breath. And when I come back, and if you're still here,
So basically, they just have their thumb on you. So
Yes.
you can't really go anywhere, look for a new career opportunity, and you're just hoping that thumb up at one point and say, come on back.
they nailed you to the floor, and you cannot move your wheels.
Wow.
Yeah, right? And people are doing that. That was a creative word.
Well, I keep
Well, where were you going to go when jobs got shut down? It's not like you can go, well, I'm going to be angry and go
Well,
down
hang on
the
a minute
street.
here. You know, the Navy created the word furlough. You know that, right? The Navy did.
So, yeah.
They would furlough people, and I guess some attorney or some
Look that up. Well,
you
how
know,
does that?
some
Where does
whiz,
it come
some
from?
wizard,
I want to know how that word came about.
some
I'm
wizard said, "Hey, let's bring that word back from the deep, and let's start throwing that out there." You know, it's like all these other acronyms that we hear all the time,
Yeah.
right? And they do that to misdirect you.
Ready?
It's like a magician.
Furlough.
Yeah.
Leave of absence. Here you go,
Okay,
Chris.
yep.
To your point, especially that granted to a member of the armed services. So they're taking employees, blue collar, white collar,
Yep.
and they're putting them on timeout. They're kind of hovering in a leave,
Yep.
and they're putting them on timeout. They're kind of hovering in a leave of absence. They weren't fired, but they're not going to pay you, and they're not on the hook for the unemployment. So you get put in
That's what it's all about. See
And-
that extra hook.
in no man's land.
So when you're furloughed, you can't get any money because they've got that thumbprint on you. That's just screwed up.
A
Just
furlough
fire me.
is a temporary leave of employees due to the special needs of a company or employer, which may be due to economic conditions of a specific employer or in a society as a whole. That's the bigger
Yeah. So, I mean, I think we were talking about it a little bit earlier. that-
pre-podcast.
Yeah. So these people are being furloughed. And so with this whole COVID thing, it's come to my attention that with California now that the government is now saying that they're not going to penalize you that 10% if you need to act. With California now that the government is now saying that they're not going to penalize you that 10% if you need to access at least $100,000. I
Of
think
your
it's
401k?
of your 401k. So,
Where's that in writing?
well, it is in writing, but you have to be careful about, you know,
It's how you say the
how you
words.
take it out, where you put it, and
Oh,
you know,
see?
you want to make sure that you definitely talk to somebody who knows the language.
Yeah. So these guys that are just like quick draw McGraws that are taking this money out, not even thinking about it, they're going to step on a landmine. Am I right to hear that?
Yeah,
And they're going to get penalized for that.
yeah. So yeah, it's interesting because people that are leaving their jobs or have been fired, you know, they can now access without the penalty anyway. But it's all in how you move the money,
Wow.
because you could get a huge surprise at the end.
Don't do it yourself.
Don't do
Yeah.
it yourself.
He was a friendly shark, though.
You know,
I think his name is Bela Lugosi,
oh my gosh.
the vampire.
A friendly
Oh,
shark.
You
Lord.
know, he was not very friendly. In fact, he was very condescending to her at the time. Not to regress, but
that's just a dumb man thing, by the way.
But I'm thinking that, so my mom was so afraid to talk to him and to tell him she was going to move the money somewhere
Yeah.
else. She was like deathly afraid.
Stressed out.
Oh,
Seriously?
it's crazy. And there's a
Wow.
lot, because he was very condescending, always
Intimidated her.
made him feel stupid, intimidating.
Oh, no way.
And I have to tell you, there's a lot of people out there that hold your money hostage and your integrity,
Yeah.
you know, as well.
Those guys need to get hit by a bus immediately.
Yeah, so it happens.
I'm putting it out there. Universe.
So
That's just
we always
terrible.
go in with an educational approach, whether you
Shark, friendly shark. They're all sharks.
Yes.
Shark is
Eh.
immediately.
yeah. So it happens.
I'm
And
putting it out there. Universe.
so
That's just
we always
terrible.
go in with an educational approach, whether you
Shark, friendly shark. They're all sharks.
Yes.
Shark is a shark.
we're dolphins here.
So the word furlough means that you cannot move anything while you're still hanging out. It's best to just cut the umbilical cord, right? Put that money in a safer vehicle and go find a better job. How about that for
I would.
a chance,
It
right?
depends on the industry, but I
Have you heard of the
definitely would.
unemployment rate today?
Have you?
Was it like 15% or something stupid like that?
I'm led to believe I don't watch or listen to the news much anymore.
Almost 2 out of every 10 people
Yeah.
in America are either out or really out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are they counting homeless people?
Dude,
I don't
that's
thi- I don't
yet
think so.
another
They're probably the
it's
only ones
Another podcast.
with jobs holding signs up.
Right?
I'm sure the government.
Right? I love that one, man. But anyways, you got to be careful out there in the financial world, because right when you think you knew something, you're eating the bullet.
Well,
And
no
you
question
bleed.
is a stupid question.
Right.
We're here to help, and if you just have a small question, or you think it's a dumb question, or just a little thing, no question's a dumb question. We're just here to help. So
Anytime, just to your guys' benefits, by the way. Anytime, so if your ears are ringing throughout the week, that's me. Okay?
Cool.
Anytime I hear IRA, 401k, I immediately say, stop right there. I'll interrupt you. I don't care if you're sitting at the table and you're talking about Uncle Bubba in New York. Bubba's going to be changing his mind after I'm done. Trust me, I'm an advocate, so I'm constantly taking that, when, a bad act goes on the stage, they got that hook, and they bring you back in,
Yeah.
right? I'm actually hooking people up to
I love it.
to avoid the,
I'm trying to think the last time I saw that.
it's a vaudeville thing,
a
right? You go out
vaudeville.
there,
Vaudeville. The big white
hook, and they give you a horn on one of those cymbals.
I love it.
But I'm always thinking of you guys, so my ears are perked wherever I go. Anytime I hear anything that has to do with money, I immediately think of your group.
Yeah, that's
Totally.
awesome. That's awesome.
Because I'm like, man, you have no stuff that I've heard. I'm just mad just listening to it. Can you imagine you guys get to go into that bunker of that home? I call it a bunker, right?
Yep.
And all these rockets and missiles that are exploding all around them, you get to take that anxiety away and say, listen, we got you.
Wow,
Missiles that are exploding all around them, you get to take that anxiety away and say, listen, we got you.
wow,
Right?
that's a huge thing right there.
Isn't that
That's
great?
huge. They can sleep at night. Absolutely.
And that's why you guys smile all the time, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like,
It's fun.
right? It's not
It's
even
fun.
it's not even
It's
it's not even
contagious
work
in
to
a
you
good
guys.
way.
It's like
Oh.
It really is contagious. I mean, it is so incredibly crazy how much you realize you don't know until you start to really unfold the layers of the onion. You
Peel
know?
back.
so when you go back and do that follow up the following year, you can graph this thing, right? You can kind of see what's going on. And knowing that you did something right for somebody, especially when you jumped in and your mom got saved, it was just
Game over for me. I mean,
Right?
I just
Let's
knew,
do
I knew
it.
I needed to. I needed to learn this.
Game beginning. For
Yeah.
you.
game beginning.
Game beginning. Good.
Yep,
Yeah.
game
So
beginning
absolutely.
for
you took something that was horrible and you said, you got a cape as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Got another superhero in this
Thank
room,
you.
folks. Hey, you know what I'll do? I'm going to get a cape.
Oh, here we go.
And those ones that are really good, I'm going to take a picture and put them on the other side. With the cape.
We should just run around the room with the capes on.
I love it, right? Hey, that little fancy camera thing you got
Or
is
we
kind
could
of neat.
just stand still and get a big fan, and we'll look like we're
Oh,
running.
yeah, there you go. I love it. I love
Don't
it.
give Denise a glass of wine because that shit will happen.
Oh, yeah. It's been a while, but
Well, you know what, guys? I can't thank you guys enough, and I'm not
Oh,
even
yeah.
in the industry. I'm kind of,
but you kinda are.
I'm there, but I'm not.
Chris gets
But,
sucked in constantly.
you know, every time we talk about finances, I don't know what it is. There's something in my brain that clicks, and when it clicks, I just want to be in the deep end of this pool.
I think it's because
You know.
you've been on the bottom part for once or twice.
You know, if I bend over and show you where the shark bit,
Wow. But see, I think
And show
that's
it-
where you're coming from. That's why you're so in.
experienced.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't want it to happen
Ah.
again.
No, and I don't want to see it happen to anybody else
Right.
because it's the fear of. Can you imagine anybody going down that road and in 8 months, your poor mom, and what would you have done? It's just like that's immediate life changing.
Yeah. She was thinking of having to sell the house.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Something he's worked many years to pay for, and now that it's paid off, you know, mom's got
They
a
get
problem
liquid,
because
yeah.
Shark Boy over here.
Yeah.
Shark Boy.
You know, was
Shark Boy.
lining his teeth in his wallets and
Well-
didn't think of anybody else. You know, the funny thing that I have a problem with is how many people did he do that to?
Oh,
That's-
really?
that's-
Just one?
that-
Really, just one?
That should be a crime.
It is.
But you were grateful enough not to
Um,
throw him in the
well,
piranhas.
there were some little details where when my father
Classic.
signature. So
That's like giving you a quick claim notice on your house.
If we would have
you know?
pursued it, it would have been a he said, she said kind of a situation because of the way that went down. Now,
Wow.
had it been another scenario, his butt would have been behind bars. Let's
Good,
just put it
good.
that way. But
Yeah.
I think that he took advantage first and foremost, and I find this with a lot of family members because there's so much trust involved. These people trust their family members not to do, the wrong thing, but because of that reason, they think they can get away with more.
That's what Epstein thought too.
No, he's a
We know what's
yet
going on with
another
that guy, right?
podcast.
Oh yeah.
Or Weinstein, yeah. Anyways, he's in the same. As far as I'm concerned, he's classified in the same. As far as he's an Epstein Jr.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or Weinstein, yeah. Anyways, he's in the same. As far as I'm concerned, he's classified in the same. As far as he's an Epstein Jr.
Yeah. So unfortunate, she trusted him enough, but it is what it is. But there's a lot of people out there with the same kind of. So again, going back, you could have what you think is a great financial planner or somebody that is in your
Corner.
your corner, but it doesn't hurt to always get a second opinion, and
And
a lot
that-
of
and that-
times people have
yeah.
more than one anyway.
Even tax guys, all these people. And you know what? They should communicate more. I think there should be a forum to where the tax guy starts talking to the tax professional and the investment and professional. Maybe they can do a bridge of some type so you guys can say, hey, if you hear anybody that's doing this, send them our way so we can make you look better than both.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up, I of course in April did taxes, and
Oh.
me and my CPA we get along well, and I was talking to him about in detail because I've got, I do a few streams of income, if you will,
Sure.
and we were talking about this particular business, and he said, in short, tell me a little bit more about it. And I had fun with him, and older gentleman, Ray. We're on the other side, opposite side of the field here. We're white hats, not black hats, like guys like you. And he's like, what? and I said, I'm going to send you a fun little video. And I sent him the one you and I put on YouTube channel.
The IUL?
The IUL
Okay.
thing, because he's a 401k guy. That's how
Oh,
he's
you're
bred,
kidding
right?
me. He didn't even know about it.
No.
Wow,
And
what a
he
trip.
watched it after dinner a couple nights after, and he actually called me. He's like, "Holy cow, I didn't know." Long story short, he had me come back into his office because I owed him. I owed him some money for doing my taxes.
Sure.
And
You planned that well.
That's a great way to get him back, right?
well, yeah, I leave everything with him, and then I come back. So
Sure.
So he charges me a couple $100 or whatever, and then I bring him back payment, and pick up my little folder, and
Only $200?
And yeah,
I got to call him.
he's great. So and then he had me leave him a stack of our Synergy Financial.
Are you kidding me? So he's going to finally educate a little bit.
Yeah. Well, this
That
guy
is
has
so
this
good,
guy
man.
has great vision. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
not to patronize you, but you call on and work with a lot of homeowners, and they do a lot of different things.
Yep.
I mean, here comes my humor. One guy is a homeless C corp, homeowner, and then you've got a guy that's a dentist that has $1 million in his checking account. You see all
Yeah.
kinds.
Oh, yeah.
Your position in the business that you run gives you vision on all these different levels.
I'm
So-
kind of like your tax guy.
That's what I'm about to say. You're
Yeah.
like the other C.
There's one tomorrow and one on Saturday.
All I hear is
and
talk.
it's a young family.
All I hear is talk.
Yeah, you want me to? Yeah.
All
Well,
I'm hearing is talking.
Phil, he's good at it.
You know what you
got a
guys need to do?
podcast.
You know what you guys need to do? I want to get a stack of cards.
They're in my car.
So I can stuff them in places, right?
In my car.
So if
They're in
anybody
my back pocket right now and in my car.
if anybody wants to hear Denise's story,
Yeah.
or Denise, you can pop out and say, "Hey, this is who I am. I'm here to help you." How do they get a hold of you?
Oh boy. So they can actually reach out to me on my mobile number. I am
Okay.
available, or text me. So that's 949-697-8508.
Perfect. And they can just call you and say, "I need to do a financial analysis."
Yeah. Or if they have a quick question, I'll arrange a time to get on a Zoom or a phone call, and we can kind of see what it is the question's about and
Yes.
how much.
Mark, what about you?
So
You're hanging out by the beach.
I'm gonna one up Denise here.
Okay.
June 15th, 7 p.m.
Oh, yeah.
Pacific Coast time.
Okay.
And I've got a little digital flyer that's about to go out. I already emailed you one.
I saw it.
All
Thank you.
right on.
Thank you.
And we're doing a Zoom virtual opening of our team in our office, and I'm going to host it.
I love it, man.
And I'm going to invite as many people as possible. And so you all get to sit on your couch, pop open your laptop, and see intimately what it is we do and have a little more explanation. And it'll be brief. I don't know. What are these things, Denise? 20, 25 minutes maybe?
Yeah, I'd say about 30
You know,
to be
You
honest.
think these podcasts are short, but we've been way over an hour by now.
Oh,
Yeah, but I'm
I've
sure
seen it.
you're going to edit a lot of it out.
No, we fly.
Ooh, we fly.
We go
We're
with
going.
that.
We
Woo-woo.
do. Well, what's great about what Mark is going to
Yeah.
do is you'll be accompanied.
Oh, okay. Those are nice to have.
Yeah.
Now, will those visuals be available to somebody after what you're going to do?
What we typically do?
PowerPoint, hint, hint.
So typically,
Okay.
what we do is I'll open and I'll explain
Okay.
where I come from, why I'm here, sort of thing, and then I went straight to the top. I went heavy hitter. I employed Laura to do the heavy lifting.
Oh, you devil.
So Laura's got the PowerPoint stuff, and then I'll wrap it up. And then ultimately what we do, anybody that's interested in two things. One, maybe they need a hand and popping their hood and what have you, and we're happy to do it. Two, and Denise, back me up here, we do not have enough boots on the ground to help people. So I'll be advocating people to jump on board and help us out if what I say strikes a chord with them.
Hello.
Yeah, so it'll be a two-tiered, a two-pronged little meetup, if you will. Strikes a chord with them.
Hello.
Yeah, so it'll be a two-tiered, a two-pronged little meetup, if you will.
I love it.
It's a great opportunity for anybody looking to earn some money or to learn the business.
You know, as far as I'm concerned, baby boomers, that's like the gold rush, isn't it? I mean,
Financial services, you talk about things being lucrative, and it's not the primary, but here's a fact. Financial services far outpaces the entertainment world and retail world put together
I'd believe it.
dramatically.
Wow.
So you can do well for yourself if that's your thing. There's nothing wrong with that. our world outpaces. So Denise is right. You can peck away at this and want to help some people. You might get really, really fired up, and we run with a lot of people.
And put on a cape, huh?
It's all they put on a Jane cape, put on a Laura cape.
We've seen a lot of superheroes.
Put on a Jane cape, put on a Laura cape.
We've seen a lot of superheroes in this business. For
you guys certainly are part of that group.
Yep.
So keep doing the great thing for everybody.
Yep.
You're going to talk to a few people here very soon.
Yep.
And they got your number to contact you, Denise. You can help them out tenfold.
Absolutely.
They would be fools, and I see with a capital F, if they don't contact you guys to get this done.
Absolutely, yeah. We're here to help.
All right. I thank you guys so much.
Good stuff.
Mark?
Yep.
Denise?
Chris?
Yay! We did another one, right? And here we go. And like I said, every time we do this, it just makes me feel so fired up, man. Yep. I don't leave here until I got it all throughout my social media.
Fired up!
The Energy Hour was brought to you by
Solaria. Beauty, efficiency, and power. For nearly 20 years, Solaria has set the pace for solar panel performance, efficiency, reliability, quality, and design. Solaria continues to leverage its patented technology, engineering expertise, and sophisticated automation into creating one of the most attractive, energy-efficient solar panels available on the market today. Redefining home solar. Solaria's high-output solar panels deliver maximum energy production in a streamlined, all-black design that complements your home's architectural style with more than 20% more energy per square meter than traditional solar panels. Solaria's advanced Power XT panels pack maximum power into minimum space for industrial leading efficiency. Enjoy clean, reliable power day in and day out, backed by our 25-year warranty. Solaria is the new benchmark for solar energy. Quality you can trust for your home and business. For more information, go to qhinc.com/Solaria.
You spend to ensure good health $100, $1,000, $1 million? For less than $100, you can get a 2-month supply of a VHE Superfood, the revolutionary new health supplement packed with everything you need to look great, feel great, and have renewed energy. Call 618-800-6670. A VHE Superfood, beyond organic. Go to realhealthforyou.com. Total Life Energy in powder, pill, or elixir. Your health. What's it worth to you? Call 618-800-6670 now.
This cast is brought to you by Aliva Digital Marketing, lead generation and SEO for local businesses. Increase your web presence with their results in advanced strategy, including a video website audit and analysis for free. Listeners of this podcast can get 75% off Aliva's fees. But hurry, only the first 5 businesses that inquire can get this deal. Aliva Digital Marketing, a proud sponsor of this podcast, online at alivadigital.com.
Got latest electric bill? Is it less than last month or last year? Probably not. But if you had a solar system from QHI, it would be. Your electric meter could be running backwards. Right now, get a QHI system installed for no money down, no out-of-pocket expenses. Get an immediate savings on your electric bill. Call 909-609-5437. Solar is all they do. Call QHI 909-609-5437.
Capture the joyful magic of the holiday season with Virtual Santa. Virtual Santa is a high-definition projection effect that walks, waves, laughs, eats cookies, and puts presents under the tree. From outside, it's so real, you swear Santa's in your house. Virtual Santa, originally seen on ABC's The Great Christmas Light Fight. You can choose from traditional Virtual Santa or new African American Santa. Holiday effects include Virtual Santa, Mrs. Claus, Santa's Workshop with Christmas elves, and so much more. Buy one effect or a bundle. Available in HD DVD, digital download, or USB flash drive. Also available in LED projection bundles. For a winning Christmas display that will delight your neighbors young and old, visit us at virtualsanta.com and become known as the house where Santa lives. Virtual Santa, where holiday spirit begins.
Thank you for listening to The Energy Hour. Visit them on the internet by going to qhiinc.com/TEO. That's qhiinc.com/TEO.